This is a good topic. This is something no one ever really sort of thinks about, and I deal with this a lot in my clinic, with things wearing out and needing to be replaced and causing trouble.
Not talking about chains here?
Not talking about drivetrain stuff like cassettes and chains and that sort of stuff and shifters. We're talking about stuff which might impact your comfort and your performance. I guess a worn chain could impact your performance,
yes.
But stuff that's positional that's going to cause primarily discomfort and biomechanical issues in the person rather than bicycle style issues. So example number one, a very well-worn a very well-worn single Shimano pedal. Now, I think we covered this a little bit in another video, but this one, this is a brand new cleat, and this is a really worn out Ultegra pedal that's just the front edge has been chewed out over the years, and the back lip underneath that retaining spring there is pretty, it's got a fair bit of wear on the nylon body of it. So this thing can move a lot sideways. I'm guessing 6-7 millimeters. There is also, and this is hard to film, but there is also vertical movement. You can kind of hear it. I get that close enough to the microphone. The cleat is actually able to move up and down, probably 1.5 mil or so, which is not great, but the longitudinal rock, which is probably a full 2 degrees, is a problem. So brand new cleat, totally worn out pedal. Clip your shoe in every now and again, have a feel, take your foot out of the shoe and have a feel of how much play there is available in this system. This is the same with look pedals and everything, right? So these have steel wear plates on the actual load-bearing surface, but the bit at the back and the bit at the front where the two tines of the cleat kind of grab in on the pedal body, those wear because they're made of plastic. They just don't last forever. So keep an eye on this. When it gets really laterally and longitudinally unstable, get a new pair of pedals. So this one here is a pretty brand new 105 pedal. And there's nothing. I can't lift it up, down. I can't move it sideways as much. It's still got a little bit of that lateral play, which is part of the Shimano, system. Yeah, lateral Q factor, dynamic Q factor adjustment.
Oh, that's right, yep.
Yeah, but it can't move up and down. Perfectly stable, no problems with that, generally speaking. So keep an eye out for this.
That's big power there.
That's huge power, mate.
Yeah, 50
hundreds
watts?
of millions of watts.
Oh, hundreds.
No, what it will do is it will create instability of your foot on the pedal. It will also create a situation, in this case, the cleat can move forwards and backwards a couple of mil. So you will have a situation where your cleat position is dynamically changing with every pedal stroke, and that will cause asymmetry and instability of your foot, which then causes asymmetry. So yeah, keep an eye on this. With Speedplays, you get longitudinal rock. So as they wear, as the cleat wears out or the pedal body chisels into the base plate, the shoe will rock longitudinally. So as soon as, if you can clip your foot into your Speedplay, take your foot out of the shoe. If it's rocking like visibly, get a new cleat or pedal body. It can be the pedal body that's worn, but most of the time it's the cleat that's worn. Yeah, so keep an eye on your Speedplays as well. This is not just for Shimano, and I would probably say that your Speedplays, your cleat system, if you don't look after it, it'll probably last less time than a Shimano one, which is one of the downsides of Speedplays, because the cleats are expensive relative to these, and they don't last as long, generally speaking. Another one that no one talks about, and this is a really big one for me, nicks, right? Even a very high quality pair of padded nicks. In my experience, you will see 6 to 12 months of use where the chamois is between 80 and 100% effective. Basically, when they're brand new, the chamois feels great. You jump on a new pair of nicks, I'm sure everyone out there has had this situation, and it feels fantastic, and the saddle feels like it's not there, and it's amazing. Every time you wash them and use them, the chamois degrades. And some nicks, the chamois degrades faster than others. And the faster they degrade, the more often you use them, and the worse the stuff is that you're washing them with some sort of detergent that's pretty harsh. Basically, the foam in the chamois degrades. Now, I tend to get, from brutal experience, 6 to 12 months out of a good quality, like a really high quality pair of nicks. Once the level of comfort of the nicks degrades to sort of 50 to 80% of what they were when they were new, I change them out for new ones. Or I just use them for short rides. And this 2 hours on the bike, no problem with a pair of nicks that's got a bit of a worn chamois, but 5 hours, I'll try and use the brand new ones.
Okay. So what's the issue though?
The chamois degrades. The foam,
So who cares?
it crushes down. You're going to get saddle sores. That's
saddle
the problem.
sores.
Is
Okay.
friction and pressure.
Discomfort.
Discomfort. Yeah.
So you're telling me I should stop buying second-hand nicks?
Probably, mate. How second-hand are they? Is it your mates
I typically
using
go
them?
for fourth-hand, but
Random
they're
people.
hard to find fourth-hand. So.
That is a bad idea, a very bad idea. So I've lost count of the number of people I've fitted who've contacted me a year or two down the line from their fitting, and they said, "Oh, I'm starting to get saddle sores on this, inner left side here.
Interesting.
Something's not right." We bring them in, we look at their position on the bike, it looks perfect, and I'd say, "Nothing has changed here. You look great on the bike. Get some new nicks." They buy a new pair of nicks. Problem solved.
I love when you're riding behind somebody, you can see through the nicks
that's-
of that worn. You can
Yes.
see their ass cheeks.
That's not great. Yeah, that's another good reason to change your nicks. Yeah, look, there's some butts I want to watch in the peloton, but not many, mate. Yeah, that is a good reason to change them when they get really see-through. But essentially, chamois degradation is a big deal for comfort. I've had heaps and heaps of people over the years who've started developing saddle sores, bought a new pair of nicks, gone. Yeah. So saddle discomfort is 50% the saddle and 50% the nicks sometimes, right? So yeah, if nothing has changed in your position, but you've started getting saddle sores, could just be your nicks are wearing out. Yeah. Something to consider. Saddle padding. Saddles do crush down. In particular, I hate to say it, SMPs.
Oh, right.
The padding crushes down over the course of 2 to 5 years of use. Some saddles seem to be mostly immune to this due to the padding that they use. SMPs use some sort of memory foam, sort of fancy schmancy padding, which is really good as it wears in. It feels great. It conforms to the shape of your bottom of your pelvis. It's good, but it doesn't last as long as other saddles. So you can grab like a specialized power saddle, something that everyone will have known or seen. You can get one of them that's 5 years old and it still feels mostly brand new. The SMP will have crushed down. You will probably need to replace them every 3 to 5 years, which is one downside of SMPs. So when you can feel the underlying shell of the saddle, the shell,
Yeah, we got you.
the shell of the saddle
Yeah.
with sort of moderate pressure of your thumb, get a new seat.
Okay.
Yeah, something to consider. Bar tape. As your bar tape wears, it loses vibration absorption. It gets harder. I've had people with hand numbness issues and stuff put on a new lot of bar tape. The hand issues go away. Something to consider. Not a big thing, but that does happen. So bar tape can, a new lot of bar tape can make your bike almost feel brand new for a short period. It's a good, easy hack if you've got worn bar tape. Put some new stuff on. It'll feel like you're riding a new bike for a couple of weeks. Shoes. Now, this is a good one. No one ever thinks about this. I've got 2 shoes here. This is a short teaser for the new Law shoe that's coming out. We're going to have a proper video about these later once I've had more time testing them. This is version 2. I've just got an old Shimano. What's this one? An RC3 or something? It is an RC3. That was a good guess. Shoes. Shoes do wear out. As they wear out, it's not usually the sole plate. This is the bit that you'd expect that would wear out, is the sole plate. They can get a little more flexible over the years and that sort of stuff. They can wear a little bit, but the thing that really wears out is the heel cup. This has usually got some sort of reinforced plastic on the inside, and then fabric up the top, right? The heel cup wears, and as it wears, it gets less and less rigid. And as it gets less and less rigid, your foot becomes less and less stable, particularly through the rear foot here, which is the bit that's being affected by the heel cup. This can cause massive problems. Now, we should get Craig Wiggins in to talk about this, because that guy goes through a pair of Shimano S-Fires every 6 months because he's super sensitive to rear foot stability. And as the shoe stretches in the rear foot, he basically has to buy a new pair every 6 months. And the shoe still looks almost brand new, but the flex in the heel cup has started to cause him problems on the bike, and he gets a new pair and they're great for a couple of months. Now, this is not picking on Shimano specifically. This happens with all shoes pretty much, unless the shoe has some sort of hardened heel cup, which this one's made out of carbon fiber with custom sort of padding around your heel cup. This is a custom made shoe, and you're going to get no flex in the heel cup.
Right,
So
that's why Craig wants one of those.
that is why Craig, I've been trying to get him a pair. They're still working on prototypes and such, and working through the orders and stuff that they've got placed for the Law 2. But Craig would be a fantastic example of a person who would do really well with this sort of shoe, which has an incredibly rigid heel cup. You will also get wear of the dorsal system, which is, this fabric here across the top. This stuff does stretch, it does become less pliable, and over time that can also cause instability a little bit, but it's really the heel cup that's the problem. And for some people this is a non-issue, but for other people with unstable unstable heels who are relying upon the shoe for that lateral stability to be there, as the shoe wears, they can get all sorts of problems. And there's only so much you can do with wedging the heel and supporting it from underneath. If you don't have a laterally stable, heel cup on the shoe, you will get sometimes quite severe asymmetrical problems from that as they compensate around it. So another vote for the Law shoe system, which has a completely rigid heel cup. Notably the Bonts, we've got the carbon coming up around the back, they're much less prone to this. But a lot of your sort of low end shoes with a fabric sort of heel cup that doesn't have a lot of stability to it, can be a bit of an issue. So those are the things that you should think about, which can impact your position as they wear. Those are the big ones, mate. So more food for thought there.
Yeah, and quickly, Neil, you're shooting an online course called Bike Fit Fundamentals.
We are, mate. I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
I should probably get cracking on that, shouldn't we? Yes, we are. So pre-launch offers and so forth have gone out. We hope we're going to have a lot of this sort of information in there and some real-world examples. Hopefully we get enough interest to make it all worthwhile, and there's going to be a lot of effort put into that. And some of the stuff we'll be talking about in more detail are going to be these sorts of things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So if people are interested in that, they can check out a link below. So they'll get access when we launch it, or maybe it will be launched by the time they watch this. Who knows?
Depends how slowly we edit, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.